Gildan Media, a division of Recorded Books, presents The 100X Leader, How to Become Someone Worth Following, by Jeremie Kubicek and Steve Cockram, narrated by Matthew Josdal. Introduction. There is a people group on this planet known for their superhuman abilities. They can climb at levels unimaginable, while carrying gear and supplies that would make the normal person wince. They are known as the Sherpa, and they are a perfect metaphor to describe a type of superhuman leader that exists on this planet as well. You may know the Sherpa for their expertise on Mount Everest and throughout the Himalaya Mountains. Even more than their physical DNA, the Sherpa tend to have a belief system that is different than the extreme climbers who pay thousands to climb a mountain, seeking mostly the thrill of personal achievement. In contrast, the Sherpa climb out of respect for the mountain and for the chance to take care of their families. Two types of people climb the mountain for different reasons. One to check off an accomplishment, the other to help people fulfill their dreams. Throughout this book, we use the metaphor of a Sherpa because we feel they are the best example of what it means to truly lead people, modeling perfectly the ability to calibrate support and challenge. We will explain what we mean by a 100X leader in depth and give you many practical tools and examples as we challenge you to live and lead at your full potential. Our ultimate goal is to help you become a person who people want to follow, not one people have to follow. There is a big difference. Have to versus want to. Have you ever worked for someone simply because you needed a job or a paycheck? This was a leader that you reluctantly worked for out of duty or necessity, but one you wouldn't necessarily have chosen to work for otherwise. Mentally, want to versus have to is a very different thing. When we want to work for someone, life is much brighter. When we work for someone worth following, we have a spring in our step. We want to work hard. But when we are forced to work for a weak leader, even things we like to do become tedious. In this book, we will help you evaluate how others see your leadership and your life, and we will equip you with proven, practical tools so that you can become someone people will choose to follow. We need better leaders. The 21st century is a steep mountain climb for today's leaders. The landscape is treacherous and constantly shifting as the complexities of work, culture, and life are changing rapidly in the digital age. It's unrecognizable from 30 years ago. In essence, the terrain has changed drastically, and people are either adapting or not. Because of these changes, we have come to believe that the world doesn't need more leaders. It needs more of the right kind of leaders, especially amid the chaos that is constant within global affairs. We need more leaders who people want to believe in, not leaders who people are forced to follow. The changes in geopolitical realities, global leadership, and technological advancements have also caused a complete shift in the way adults learn. People have changed the way they read and view information, and even the way they read books. Social media affects news feeds and attitudes, not to mention the endless options of entertainment. The proliferation of information has forced different behaviors as people try to filter what they want to take in and how much content to digest, whether it's audio, visual, or text. This dramatic shift in how we learn affects people's abilities to become healthy and to train others effectively. No one has climbed this mountain before. Having worked with leaders around the globe, we know the challenges of today's landscape. The realities that leaders are asked to address require a new technique, since the old maps are invalid. Since 2013, we have been working to create new maps for 21st century leaders. A people system that actually scales and multiplies healthy leaders. And it has been working, which is why we have built this field guide for transformation and multiplication for you to use. Transformation and multiplication methodology. This book is written for every person who leads others in many different circles of influence, from the CEO to the director to the frontline manager, to the parent at home with kids, or to the leader inside a community. Our goal is to establish a new standard of leadership, one that is centered on humility, self-awareness, and excellence, but also accepts the challenge to multiply other leaders with the same DNA. You will quickly understand our philosophy and our goal to help you become as healthy a leader as possible and learn how to multiply your skills to others. Ultimately, we will take the greatest delight when your spouse, kids, teammates, or employees notice a tangible difference in you and comment on it. Such stories of transformational change are our true metric of success. We believe you cannot remove leadership from real life. You might only be leading one person, yourself, and even then you can learn to lead more effectively. Even if you simply grow personally to a higher level of self-awareness and begin to liberate yourself, then this book is worth it. We believe passionately in applied leadership learning. We don't just want you to know more about leadership. We want you to become a leader who others are proud to follow. Here is how one leader described the book while reading an early version. This book puts it all together. It helps me on my own view of myself, affects my role in my family, and gives me real tools to help me with my people. You guys put the words to my thoughts and gave me something that I can use as a field guide. I honestly think I will be able to keep this book open on my desk to help me with my real life at work and at home. Brandon Hutchins, CEO, Gaskin Surveying and Engineering, Marietta, Georgia. Where the change starts. But we believe that you must first change yourself before you can attempt to change others. This is the secret of the Sherpa, or 100x leader, as we help you change your view of the future, your priorities, and your goals. This will create the possibility for a ripple effect that will change your families, teams, organizations, and communities. We need leaders who lead for the benefit of others, not just for themselves. To be a 100x leader, you must be honest and challenge your core motivation. What do you really want? What do you desire to achieve by the time you are 40, 50, or 65 plus years of age? How are you planning to actually get there? What are you afraid of losing? Looking at your past leadership, what would others conclude was your motivation? Is it accurate? And do you want to change that perception? Change starts when a person looks in a mirror and first becomes aware that there is some blemish or tendency that needs to be addressed. We can't change you. We can only hold up a mirror to challenge and encourage you to start the process of becoming a leader worth following. When you finish this book, hopefully you will have accomplished two things. 1, you will have experienced a profound personal insight, a pathway, and a vision of a better way to live and lead. 2, you will start to become adept at intentionally transferring what you have learned to help others. The 100x process is a journey. We hope this field guide will give you a new language of leadership and that you will let us be your Sherpas to help you lead at higher levels and then have the joy of helping others climb. Welcome to Base Camp. Let's get ready to become someone worth following. Section 1. Developing You. 1. Choosing to climb. On May 20th, 2013, at approximately 3:30 a.m., John Beatty was rudely awakened by his alarm. He had been dreaming about enjoying the most amazing cup of hot tea he had ever had, while eating some delicious warm pastries in a local cafe. As he began to awake from his slumber, he realized the awful reality that it was just a dream, a cruel dream. There was neither tea nor any scrumptious pastry, but instead he could hear the strong Arctic wind that sounded like a freight train and reminded him where he was. It was the type of wind that threatens climbers not to go any further. As he began to stir, the extreme cold seeped into his sleeping bag and snapped him to reality. This was the day he would remember for the rest of his life, if he made it back to tell about it. Nestled at 23,500 feet at Camp 3 on Mount Everest, after 45 days on the mountain, 9 months of training, and 17 years of dreaming, it was time for John to start the final leg of his journey. John is an expert climber, and one of the few who have climbed the 7 summits, the highest single mountain on each of the 7 continents. In his life, he has climbed over 100 mountains, but only one remained, the most magnificent mountain on Earth, Mount Everest. And the mountain held all his respect. Just like the morning rituals of the Sherpa, John prepared his mind in the few minutes he had before dressing and leaving for this important feat. This morning, like every other morning, he listened to a talk about mind over matter from a motivational speaker, and then read a few messages from family to inspire him for what he was about to do. John had prepared physically, and he was in the best shape of his life, though the time on Everest was beginning to take its toll. He was ready for summit day. He had perfected the technical aspects of climbing, and could manage ropes and his climbing tools with the best of them. His focus was on his emotional and mental endurance. He would have to handle the negative voices in his head and the ramifications of other people cracking under the sheer emotional, mental, and physical stress of climbing in the death zone. Oh yeah, the death zone. That is the roughly 3,000 feet of mountain from Camp 4 to the summit that is the most treacherous terrain on the planet. This is the altitude where airplanes fly, and where the oxygen needed for life just doesn't exist. Each climber has less than 48 hours to climb from Camp 4 to the summit and back down to Camp 3. In fact, the year of John's climb, 9 people died in Everest's death zone. Through his binoculars, John watched one climber perish attempting a climb. He would see 6 other dead bodies in all as he climbed, a devastating blow to the psyche of even a world-class climber. They reached Camp 4 at 26,300 feet by 11 a.m. for a rest. Can you imagine resting in the death zone? Though the rest helped, every climber was focused on the final push to the summit that started at 7 p.m. The first steps out of Camp 4 committed John into the blackness of the frozen Himalayan night sky. The next 30 hours would mark the culminating moments of a 17-year mountaineering and climbing career. This was his final testing ground of self-discovery and personal growth. Since the mountain wasn't about to lower itself to his level, it was his opportunity to rise up to the demands presented by the climb. John pondered to himself, "Do I have what it takes? Could I perform at my best in the most extreme environment on Earth? Can I balance my skills, physical strength, emotional endurance, teamwork, and safety judgments?" Step after grueling step, the truth sunk into him. John thought, every person needs his or her own personal proving place. This is mine. That night would be one of the most intense of John's life. The only comfort was that he was not alone. Nuru, one of the most coveted Sherpa guides, had climbed right beside him since base camp, and together they re-evaluated the weather for the right window to summit. Each climber was given 2 canisters of oxygen along the way, one in the beginning and one stored higher, both supposed to last 10 hours each, enough to take them from Camp 3 to the summit and back down safely to Camp 2. John, however, had an issue with his oxygen. His first canister only lasted 3 hours, not 10. An oxygen canister is threaded like the cap of a screw-top bottle, and the rubber threads on John's tank began to warp from the extreme cold, failing to seal properly, causing the oxygen to leak. Nuru, his Sherpa, did what he was trained to do. He climbed higher to get the other fresh tank that was stored for the upper levels, so that they could continue the climb. As John waited, the colors around him began to fade. His red coat became gray as his eyes began to shut down due to lack of oxygen. Nuru returned in the nick of time. The new oxygen tank took him as far as the Hillary Step, but no further. The extreme cold caused the oxygen to leak on this tank as well. He was out of time and was advised to turn back. The most frustrating part was that John could hear climbers celebrating the summit just meters away from him. He was just too close to give up. His Sherpa tried a serendipitous last-resort fix as he dipped John's canister into a container of hot tea to melt the ice and make a seal. John's dream of hot tea, which had begun at the break of day, now gave him just enough oxygen to get to the next level. He eventually reached the summit at 5:48 a.m. on May 21st, 2013, a testament to his courage and to the ingenuity and wisdom of his Sherpa. He is one of the few who have braved the weather and faced death with every step to make it through the death zone and back to do what very few on the planet have ever done: summit Mount Everest. Mount Everest is not for everyone, and many people in a climbing group don't make it to the top. Although John Beatty did make it, he explains that the 2 months of preparation and climbing on the mountain can wear people down. Most people don't realize that you have to attempt Mount Everest 3 to 4 times before making it to the top to acclimate your body. There is no way your body would make it without this acclimation strategy. He says, "The people who are strongest physically don't always make it, but rather it is the emotionally strong, the ones who can work as a team and are willing to help others who seem to thrive." More than anything, he emphasized, a successful climb depended on the experience and quality of the Sherpa as guide. John is still climbing mountains and spends the rest of his time speaking to leaders on how to live and lead in the midst of obstacles. Aiming higher. Our goal for this book is to help you climb your own leadership Mount Everest, whether that be to lead a team, run a division or a company, or raise a family at a higher level. We want you to aim higher in your view of yourself and those you lead. We want to be your Sherpas on a journey of intentional living to help you be the best leader in all the spheres of influence in your life. And we want you in turn to learn how to become a Sherpa for others. We aim to get you to a place of 100% health and influence, which means we need to help you acclimate to higher levels on your journey of growth and self-awareness before effectively leading others up their mountains. 100x. So how do we get you to 100% health in your leadership? And is it even possible? We want to introduce you to a symbol that can be used by you inside your world to help shape the intent of people becoming healthy leaders. That symbol is 100x. The phrase 100x is simple and deep all at the same time. The number 100 simply means reaching 100% of the desired health or personal transformation of a person, encompassing their emotional intelligence, mental ability, and holistic leadership strength and effectiveness. The hallmarks of a leader at 100% could look like the following. They are secure in who they are and confident with their abilities while remaining humble to those they serve. They are consistent in the way they lead so that people can count on them. They are self-aware and responsive when they have erred. They are intently for their people, not against them or solely for themselves. They have something to give others because they are full of the positive, even in the midst of difficult circumstances. Although 100% is rarely reached, the aspiration of being as healthy as a leader can be should be your goal. The ability to know yourself and lead yourself in order to be the most effective person or leader possible. The leadership journey is similar to what John Beatty experienced with Nuru, his Sherpa. We are simply your guides, focused on helping you become the consistent, healthy leader you would love to be. This journey, like climbing the highest mountain, will help you acclimate at higher levels of living and leading. Some of the exercises in this guidebook will make you feel like you don't have much oxygen, as we encourage you to face yourself and your tendencies in order to push you higher. But if you commit to getting truly healthy and allow the process to do its work, you are going to find yourself climbing at levels that were once unattainable. And the X in 100X. The X stands for multiplication, the intentional transfer of knowledge, wisdom, and skills to those you lead. Once you journey up the mountain yourself and prove that you have what it takes, you will become the Sherpa for those you lead. Put together, 100X is a formula for leadership success, transformation of the leader, and multiplication to those you lead. Some of you might be at 70%, as you are generally healthy in your leadership, but may not be multiplying or helping others climb in the way they need. We are inviting you to climb Everest every day for the rest of your lives and learn how to be a Sherpa to others at the same time. Become, build, lead. To do that well, you will need to become well-rounded in 3 fundamental areas of your life. You will need to: 1. Become a leader worth following, not one people must follow because of a job or just because you are their boss. 2. Build leaders worth following, because every organization needs much stronger leaders to be able to sustain and grow. 3. Lead organizations or cultures that people want to join. People have a choice, and we will help you create teams and organizations that people want to attach their names to. We have seen too many leaders who are focused on their own leadership, but have given very little to helping others win. We have also seen the leaders who decimate everyone they lead. We will address this as well. In the 100X Leader, you will experience a holistic view of becoming a person that people want to follow. To get there, we must jump into real life and work on real issues that might be hard, but will certainly be good. Leaders in real life. Every one of us has our realities that we must live with every day. We have partners, bosses, marriages, kids, friendships, clients, and more to navigate through on a daily basis. Throughout the book, we will be sharing many real-life stories of transformation and multiplication as we attempt to show a better way to live and lead. Dan Oberski is an amazing leader. He is a successful real estate developer in Estero, Florida. Years ago, he made the decision to go on the 100X journey after observing the transformation from a friend who had experienced our process. When Dan first met us, his leadership health was around 70% because he didn't fully know what it was like to be on the other side of his leadership. Here is how he tells it. By 2011, we had started a new company. And when we started, my tendencies and patterns were to overcome obstacles by sheer determination and activity. We had grown the company from 4 people to 12 in 2 years, and believed we were on the right track, though along the way there were a growing number of casualties. I would cast the vision to anyone that would hear me out, and I would communicate the future as if it was a guaranteed reality. This led to unrealistic expectations on how we would get to our future with a group of young and motivated individuals that were trying to read my mind on how to actually get to that vision daily. I truly cared about these people and wanted to see them accomplish their dreams, which of course would aid my dreams. But there were so many problems, mainly with me. I found myself exhausted from doing all the work they couldn't do, and getting increasingly frustrated with the team when we didn't reach our goals. I would press them to the point of threatening to fire them or actually releasing them. My leadership wasn't healthy, and I definitely was multiplying the wrong things. This caused people to see me as a tyrant at times. It seemed to me that everyone was lazy, and no one wanted it as much as I did, which I know now wasn't truly fair. I probably appeared to be highly successful. The reality was I was not providing the support or the challenge that was needed for any reasonably hardworking person to reach the outcome I desired. I made a decision to change. I chose to find people to help me, to act as a Sherpa to help me reach a higher level of leading. They provided me with tools and trained me to use those tools to climb. I'm still not 100%, but I am above an 85%, and I know what I need to do to get even higher. I have also started to multiply myself, and I realize that I learn even more about myself when I help others grow. To become a Sherpa yourself and get to 100x is the hardest challenge I have ever taken, but I am never going back down the mountain. The journey contained in this book is full of hope and some surprises, as we hold up a mirror to let you see what it's like to be on the other side of you. There is a summit awaiting you with the most incredible view when you let the process of self-discovery have its way. Your 100% health check. To make the most of the rest of this book, prepare for the journey by taking a quick, unscientific reality health check for your life now. Rank yourself 1 to 10, 10 being the highest level of health on each of these statements. I am secure, not insecure, in my ability to lead people, teams, programs, or organizations to accomplish our goals. 1 to 10. My personal life is healthy and allows me to be fully present and productive in accomplishing my objectives and goals. 1 to 10. I am emotionally intelligent and have acclimated to leadership by learning how to lead people in complex situations. 1 to 10. I am consistent in my leadership and not prone to rash emotions or using fear and manipulation to lead others. 1 to 10. I know where I am going and what I am responsible for, and feel the freedom and courage to lead at higher levels. 1 to 10. I am fit to lead, physically, mentally, and emotionally. 1 to 10. Now, average your scores and divide by 6. A score of 7 and above would highlight that you believe you are in a healthy season. A score of 5 and under would mean that there are real issues happening in your life, and that you need some help to get healthy enough to continue climbing. Lastly, if you are between 5 and 7, then there are some flags that need to be addressed, as you could easily move up or down based on some circumstances in your life. 100% is the goal. Most of us are not at that number, as stress and pressure, missed expectations, hard relational dynamics, kids, and life in general have shaved this number down into something well below. We believe that once you go through the gauntlet of chapters 2, 3, and 4, that this number could go lower through the realities of self-awareness. And we also believe that we will help you get to the next level as you begin to work on yourself and acclimate to the higher levels of living and leading. As Sherpas, we will make sure we help you get to where you have wanted to go but didn't know how. In the last chapter, we will then give you a scientific way to fully analyze your reality and see your true number. Acknowledging your journey to date. We all have things in our past that have hammered and shaped us into the person we are in this moment. Because we are complex and layered, it is often hard to reflect deeper on your life. But it is important to take a look inside so that you can work on the outside. One question we love to ask is, what are the things that have caused you to stop being you? Here is another. What is keeping you from being fully alive, healthy, and ready to climb? Such questions are designed to provoke thoughts that could lead to transformation, as growth is a process, a journey that takes years, even decades. If you want to know how a leader will act, or predict the decisions they will make, you need only look backward to find the people, circumstances, and decisions that shaped them in the past, whether positive or negative, to be the person they are today. We believe that people become the conversations of those around them, and many of us are culminations of the comments and expectations of others in our life. This book will help frame a better narrative so that you can climb your own mountain. It always starts.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?